Hello, everyone. Uh, I just thought I'd come up after my last broadcast a few days ago. I've been thinking about it a lot, about what was said, and I have some other things to add. But I guess tonight the most important thing I'm thinking about is just after watching the nightly news broadcast. Uh, Nightly news broadcast. Yes. I'm watching this. What's her name? Gabby, the girl that went missing. They did find her, you know, and she's been murdered. And the police said she was murdered, and that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. But what's bothering me goes a bit deeper, you know, since I didn't know this girl. It goes a bit deeper in a way, because I'm sitting there watching the news broadcast, and she went missing, and they pulled out all the stops for her, a young, privileged white woman. You know, uh, a full search and rescue until they found her. And it's a shame. It's a shame she was killed. Okay, it's a shame. But there was this guy, young black, went missing on July 19th, 2021. Same sort of terrain. No one bothered to look for him. Or even even mention that he's missing after they found his smashed up wrecked truck down in a rancher's ravine, who called it into the police. Young black guy, going to school for geology, working on some sort of program, maybe working for a rancher around there, out west. And I'm sitting there trying to eat my supper, and I can't, like, my throat closed up. I'm sitting there listening, and I'm trying to eat my dinner. And I can't, because my throat closed up. and my stomach rolled. No one bothered to go look for him. With all the helicopters in the state. He's a black guy. He's a young black man. About her same age. There was no statewide. There was no nationwide search for this guy. No multi-state endeavor to find him or his remains and return him to his family. And I just have such a problem with the racist discrepancies I see. You know, it just rankles. Makes you feel kind of sick. I guess he was out there. I guess he's a student. Working on some sort of project over the summer. And working like a work program to help with school. But he's gone too. There is no nationwide search for this guy, no multi-state endeavor to find him or his remains and return them to his family. I just get sick of it. I get sick of watching it. But that's no excuse to give up. So, anyway, last time touched on the subject of sexism. As well. Also alive and well. In our government. In our culture. I was talking about the Texas abortion law. And I just wanted to reiterate what I said before. I'm not sexist. I'm no misogynist. I am a woman. So of course I don't hate women. I just don't think that sexism is all targeting women and only affecting. I think it's effecting. I have to look at that. Only affecting women. Let's see if it's affecting. No, it's just I don't know. At all. It's just as big of an issue as racism, as systemic racism. Is. It's just as insidious. Just as divisive. Causes irreparable harm. I'm also sick of listening to it. And seeing the damage it causes. Just because someone is a female doesn't mean they don't hate women. No. Be warned. Those sort hate men too, though. Whether they want to admit it or not. They hate everybody, so You know, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a perfect example of that. She is a perfect example of a bad example of what I am driving at here. To people like that. It's bad. Bad. Their minds are full of poison. Pretty awful. I just want a quick check, see if I feel like I spoke. There may be more later at some other time that I want to extrapolate on these subjects, but right now, I just. It's pretty awful. So, anyway. I've picked a few selections today. Tomorrow is the autumn solstice. So I've chosen a poem for it. This is a poem by Peter Blue Cloud. It is called Within the Seasons. Winter solstice. When darkness settles itself upon a blanket of crystal snow, and stars are like piercing thoughts of reason in the mind of creation, we bank the heart's fire. That morning finds the children warm. We taste last summer's gifts of corn and beans and squash, At winter's table, we give thanks and praise creation in quiet song. Then we too settle beneath robes to dream the promise of tomorrow. On a morning so brilliant that load stirs the children to noisy play, the maples call to us in rising sap, and a whole nation responds. Nothing else quite so festive as the all-night fires of a sugar camp. Spring equinox. Now day and night sit balanced from a silence that seemed forever. The first booming crash of breakup thunders from the river. Smiling, an elder oils the handle of a hoe and listens for that great warm wind. Creation is a song, a trickling become a gurgling, chuckling water voice. Winds which bend the snows to melting carry clouds of rainstorms on shoulder. Green islands appear on turtle's back, grasses long asleep beneath the snow. Dawn of a glorious season, flowers emerging, undulating waves of color, the taste of strawberries, anticipate in their blossoms the rich and fertile smells of soil we bend to, breaking the ground for summer's corn. Summer solstice. Come, bring children. Let them feel for a moment the rhythm of the hoe. Let them experience the wonder of green shoots emerging from earth, earth given us in guardianship from the creation. Body, mind, and spirit full to bursting with ripe, sweet berries, the first tender green beans and corn. We give thanks and thanks again. The twin concepts of reason and peace are seen in each kernel of an ear of corn. Perhaps we repair our lodges as do the beavers living close by. Our children swim like river otters, and as their laughter reaches us, we join them for a while in these hottest of summer days. Autumn equinox. Again, day and night sit balanced, and the black bear begins to put on fat. We begin harvesting mature crops to store for winter. Our elders choose and carefully store away the seeds to be planted in tomorrow. That sacred song of departure, dry corn stalks, rustling in wind. At their feet, huge fat pumpkins. Above us, the sky darkens with a great passage of birds. Again, we pause to give thanks. Wood piled high close to lodges. We walk upon crackling brown frozen grasses. Evening calls to us softly in gentle song, and soon the first large flakes of snow call us to rest beneath winter's robe. I've chosen a few selections tonight. I've probably read this poem before, but I would like to read it again. This is a poem by Linda Hogan. It's called The Truth Is. In my left pocket, a Chickasaw hand rests on the bone of the pelvis. In my right pocket, a white hand. Don't worry, it's mine and not some thief's. It belongs to a woman who sleeps in a twin bed, even though she falls in love too easily and walks along with hands in her own empty pockets, even though she has put them in others for love, not money. About the hands, I'd like to say, I'm a tree, grafted branches bearing two kinds of fruit. Apricots, maybe, and pit cherries. It's not that way. The truth is, we are crowded together and knock against each other at night. We want amnesty. Linda girl, I keep telling you this is nonsense about who loved who and who killed who. Here I am, taped together like some old civilian conservation corps passed by from the Great Depression, and my pockets are empty. It's just as well, since they are masks for the soul, and since coins and keys both have the sharp teeth of property. Girl, I say, it is dangerous to be a woman of two countries. You've got your hands in the dark of two empty pockets. Even though you walk and whistle like you aren't afraid, you know which pocket the enemy lives in, and you remember how to fight. So you better keep right on walking, and you remember who killed who. For this, you want amnesty? And there's that knocking on the door in the middle of the night. Relax. There are other things to think about. Shoes, for instance. Now those are the true masks of the soul. The left shoe and the right one with its white foot. So, one more poem before I close. This is a poem by the book's editor, Dwayne Natum. It is called The Art of Clay. The years in the blood keep us naked to the bone. So many hours of darkness we fail to sublimate. Light breaks down the days to printless stone. I sing what I sang before. It's the dream alone. We fall like the sun when the moon's our fate. The years in the blood keep us naked to the bone. I wouldn't reach your hand if I feared the dark alone. My heart's a river, but is not chilled with hate. Light breaks down the days to printless stone. We dance for memory because it's here on loan. And as the music stops, nothing's lost but the date. The years in the blood keep us naked to the bone. How round the sky. How the planets drink the unknown. I gently touch. Your eyes show it isn't late. Light breaks down the days to printless stone. What figures in this clay gives us sharper hone? What turns the spirit white? Wanting to abbreviate? The years in the blood keep us naked to the bone. Light breaks down the days to printless stone. I've been reading some other stuff lately. I've taken note. Some other poetry. Let's see if I can find my notebook here. I just had it. I'll be right back. This is excerpts from a poem by Robert Browning. It's an epic poem called Childe Roland to the Dark Tower Came. So, I'll read them. I'll read a few of them for you now, a couple of them. This one is stanza 22. Glad was I when I reached the other bank. Now, for a better country, vain presage. Who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample thus could pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poison tank? Or wildcats in a red-hot cage? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? And then it goes on. And stanza 25 reads, Then came a bit of stubbed ground, once a wood, next a marsh, it would seem, and now mere earth. Desperate and done with. So a fool finds mirth, makes a thing and then mars it, till his mood changes, and off he goes within a rude bog, clay and rubble, sand and stark black dearth. A rood is defined as a measure of land that is a portion of an acre in Great Britain. Or a crucifix especially a crucifix mounted in the place in a church called a rood. So I'll read it again. An excerpt from the epic poem by Robert Browning called Childe Roland to the Dark Tower Came. Glad was I when I reached the other bank. Now for a better country. Vain presage. Who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample thus could pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poisoned tank? Or wildcats in a red-hot cage? Then came a bit of stubbed ground, once a wood, next a marsh, it would seem, and now mere earth. Desperate and done with. So a fool finds mirth, makes a thing and then mars it, till his mood changes, and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and rubble, sand and stark black dearth.